So in this video we're going to be installing a Cidava 13-inch car radio. That's the Tesla style screen. So we're working on the 2020 RAM. This is the factory stuff it has. So we're going to be pulling this off and putting in the new style. I'll do a quick unboxing video. Okay, so your wiring is going to be in this box. I already had it open before, but just show you how it arrives in a box. So it would have a film cover, a blue one. We already pulled it off. This is what it looks like. Okay, and that's the back of it. Yours is gonna have instructions here, showing you to trim these plastic. I think it was these, but we end up fitting it without trimming them, so we left them alone. You'll see why. And then the instructions are going to tell you to flip these around depending on your model. Let me get you a better video of that. So you would have to unscrew these and put them into different holes. So in ours we had to raise them on both sides. Okay, now we're going to be pulling this unit out and installing this one. So you're going to start off by pulling this little rubber mat. There's going to be two T20 Twerks right here and right there. Already pulled them off. Okay, next step is basically find a grabbing spot and just going to have to pull on it. It's sitting on clips after you pull off the two screws on top. Just going to work your way around. Just press the blue tab, release it. So now you're going to remove the front panel T15 screws. There's going to be one right here. We already got most of them removed, so just take them all out. You're going to reuse these screws, so just make sure you save them. So in total there should be 12 screws that you're going to have to pull off. Alright, once you take them off, this panel just comes apart. Okay, so you're pulling this. We're not going to be using this anymore. So right before we put on the panel, we're going to remove this module. It's a 7mm screws. There's little tabs. I'm just going to pay attention to when you press on them, they release them. Usually a flathead will help you. Just make sure you disconnect all of them. We're not going to be using this piece anymore with the conversion, so you could put that away. So this is the panel without the original navigation. Now we're going to put in the Tesla style screen. Okay, so you're going to have to pop in the top first, kind of at an angle. Just feed the wires in. So we have 6 points that line up. So it's going to be the 2 across each other right here, 2 on the bottom, and the 2 on top. These do not match, and it holds on really good with just these 6 points that I just pointed out, so you'll be fine. Just reuse the original screws that you took out from the factory one. Just put them back in. Alright, so now we're going to be connecting the wiring to the navigation unit. So this is the GPS antenna. It goes to the top one. So this is the Wi-Fi antenna. It just screws in right there. It's marked as Wi-Fi. The other one I think is a 4G antenna, so we're not using that. Alright, so this is the harness. One of them is going to be for the cargo camera, and the other one's a tailgate camera. So we're going to be using both of these later. So we'll plug this in. This is what it's marked. And later in the system, it'll give you 2 options for the cameras, and you get to choose which camera and the plugs that are labeled for that camera option. So whatever you plug in, that's what it's going to show you in that option. So, alright, so we have most of the wiring kind of connected to the right ones that we need. So just kind of pay attention to it. That's the cameras, so just make sure plug in the right ones, so your settings, you could choose the right one you want. Alright, so reverse camera with the factory camera input, we'll connect them together as well. And if your truck only has a tailgate camera, you basically use one of those, so which would be reverse. So with our options, we had to use this box right here from the main harness that goes into the big plug. It jumps through this box into the top of the unit right there, this small plug. Then we're running this. So we're using it Alright, so we're using the with factory amp option. There's two identical plugs. One is for with and one is without factory amp. So we'll just put on the factory one. Alright, so this is going to be the input for the the mic. So we're going to plug the mic into it. Okay. And the mic, you just run it on the dashboard as close as possible to the driver. So I'm not going to be using these. These are just USB extension plugs. So I'm just going to skip these. So you will have some open areas because a lot of it's going to be for 4G antenna, 5G antennas or whatever. And the USB extenders. These will plug in there. Alright, this is what we have plugged in. So now we're going to start getting it in place to plug the rest of the stuff into it. Just make sure it locks in. Okay, just plug in your options on the bottom of the unit, the factory stuff. It's kind of tough to record it. Okay, we're using the pink antenna plug right here. Alright, so we connected all the options that we need for our truck that we're going to be using. It's kind of tough to explain all the wiring, so I'm doing my best because there's a bunch of them and they're all kind of together, so I'm just going to pay attention. You will have a lot of unused stuff just kind of hanging off, so don't worry about those. We will plug this one in once we get the unit closer to the dashboard. These things, we're just going to leave them in the back right now. The speakerphone, or what this is, I'm not really exactly sure at the moment. We'll leave this in it back, but we'll pull it out later. I'm just doing the video to finish at the moment, so. But you would need to pull out the antennas and put them on the dashboard somewhere out of the dashboard, so for better signal. Just tuck in all the wires inside, just pay attention, and then you just clip it in. I think the wire's in the way over there. So the nice thing about it is that you get to use your original factory trim, and this just blends into your factory trim very nicely. Okay, now we're gonna let it boot up. Alright, so this is the unit. It turned on. Alright, so this is the unit fully on. So I have the climate control buttons working right here, and you can see the temperature being adjusted, the fan speeds. Let me see, let me fix it. There you go, the fan is on. We have the rear defrosters, the front windshield defrosters. Okay, there you go. Gotta check the settings, see why that one does not want to work. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go to home page. You go to setting guide. Yeah. Then you go to, and when we got it the first time installed, it's just the camera acted out, so I had to redo the video. The unit was not programmed to our truck, so once we turned it on, the AC was not working properly. I reached out to Cidava customer service, and they pretty much responded pretty quick to me, and they told me how to change these settings. So it depends on your model you have. You're gonna have to go through these settings and change them, and it saves it, and that's how you get to adjust it to your car system. So it works as a plug and play. So to turn on the seat heaters, they're deactivated from factory, so you're gonna have to do all this. There's quite a bit of settings, so you're just gonna have to go through and kind of adjust them to your vehicle. Okay, now the switch works. We're using a factory amp. So there's instructions hidden inside of it where all the plugs go to. So you'll go to home page, click the file, then I think it was this one. I think it was get started. This one right here. Okay, so it's gonna throw out all the little options. There's a little bit more. So these are the wires, explain what wires for what exactly specifically. So it's nice to see this in advance so you're not a little confused with it. So I'm just gonna pay attention to it. And there's a second list of the plugs on the back of the unit. There's all the settings here. The unit works very fast, very responsive. The screen is, look at that, it's like a high-end tablet. Very quick. Quality is nice. What else can we do here?